Did you know you can change your view distance in DayZ? In this video, I'm going to show you how. To find where to change this setting, you want to navigate to your Documents folder. So you look in your main Windows drive. For me, it's C, then Users, then a folder with your username, then Documents, then there should be a folder titled DayZ. Within that folder, you're looking for a file that is named your username _ settings.dayz profile. You can open that file in a text editor and look for the view distance setting. The default setting is 1000 meters. This sets how far terrain will render for you in the game. You'll also want to look at the setting just below that, which is preferred object view distance. The default for that is 835.16479. Very specific. This sets how far objects will render for you in-game. To change the setting, just replace the numbers and save the file. You'll have to restart DayZ for them to take effect. It's a good idea to restart Steam as well, but it typically isn't required. Let's look at how adjusting these settings changes what you can see in the game itself. Here I am at the Northwest Airfield in Chinaris with the default settings. So the terrain is rendering for me at 1000 meters and objects are rendering at 835 meters. If we increase the view distance setting to 5000 meters, we can now see that the terrain renders much farther. However, notice that only the terrain is rendering more distance. We can't see any objects such as buildings over this increased distance. Now I've changed the preferred object view distance to 5000 meters as well, and you can see that buildings and other objects are rendering at a much greater distance. Keep in mind that server admins have the option to include parameters to set a limit to both of these settings on their particular server. If the client, you, and the server both have these settings, the most restrictive setting has priority. So if you have your view distance set to 5000 meters, but the server view distance is set to 1000 meters, then you'll only be able to see 1000 meters despite what your personal number is set to. If your personal setting is set to 1000 meters and the server is set to 5000 meters, you'll only see 1000 meters. It's possible you'll run into lag issues if you put the settings too high and your hardware can't support it. You'll have to play around and figure out what works best for you. One very important thing to keep in mind is that players render at a maximum of 1100 meters. So if you set your view distances to greater than 1100 meters, it's possible that you will be looking at terrain and objects at a distance beyond where you can see players. So you might watch an area that you think is empty, but if it's farther than 1100 meters away, there could be players there that you can see. This is never an issue with the default settings because the terrain only renders at 1000 meters. So there's never a time when you could see farther than a player would render. There's no way to increase the setting for how far players render. It gets lowered if you lower to poor video quality, but other than that, the max is 1100 meters and there's no way to increase this. If this video was helpful, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more DayZ content.